Let's open up the floor for any thoughts, any questions, any comments, any thoughts on last week's Zoom meeting. Sister Angela.
Well, since you called on me, nah, I mean, I was thinking about the last note we left on about this dream you had
Hmm.
and this I was invited to I was virtually invited along with some other people. There was a conference yesterday with some sisters in By Allah's Grace and Mercy. I did speak there along with other women.
Hmm.
It was supposed to be a women's conference, but Allah's the best of planners. So there were brothers present,
Hmm.
which was a very interesting dynamic that I kind of seen unfold. So part of what we were talking about, of course, is pain, but it was called the purpose beyond the pain,
Hmm.
which by the time I think I was the last presenter, and by the time it got to me, my mind really wasn't on, sharing what I've been through.
Hmm.
It went back to I am, that I am.
Hmm.
And I guess that's kind of liaison to even the struggle for balance because that's what it took. And that's what I mean by the presence of the brothers changed the dynamic, but it was in such a beautiful way. It softened some of the sisters because we will not be very honest if we don't say that a lot of pain that women, black women in particular, are in
Hmm.
is due to some form of man,
Hmm.
father, brother, uncle, husband, whatever the case may be. And so it softened the sisters because the brothers, they were in their class A's and very helpful, helped us get the audio together, securing the speakers and everything. It just was a sign. So it brought me right to our conversation about your dream and this healing that has to happen
Hmm.
by way of knowing who we are. That's what I am means. There's only one I am.
Hmm.
And in the dark, it was the consciousness that sparked the light, right? So it's getting back to that using the tool. And we absolutely must have the masculine principle, I believe, headed. Sister Nyame, how are you, Queen? So good to see you. What a treat, Brother Luke Mine. You let her
Hmm.
sneak up on us like that.
Yeah.
Praise be to Allah. Your ears should have been ringing, sis, because I got some of everybody watching that 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 the class you were on. I got them watching the replay, so I'm about to make a bunch of texts right now and
Yeah,
get
go ahead and
the
text them
people
out
out
because
here.
we're gonna
But
try to
think
see if we can
about
get
that
another
part.
announcement tonight, Sister
Oh,
Angela.
okay, praise be to Allah. Let me
Mhm.
make the text.
Yes, ma'am.
But that dream you had in this joining of the feminine, masculine, and
Hmm.
feminine principles is an absolute must. Satan has kept us apart for a reason, because that's the first act of separation of the devil that I can count in at least the Bible in the Garden of Eden.
Hmm.
Okay, that's enough for me. I'm about to get to it now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Angela.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Nyame. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam.
You have the place buzzing. There's been a lot of people. The viewership of last week's the week that you spoke has bypassed a whole lot of other Zoom meetings thus far.
Mm.
So, Sister Inyame, you're in high demand right now. So we're thankful that you were able to make it with us. And at the towards the end, I'll open the floor if you want to discuss what we had discussed previously.
Hmm.
More than welcome.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, most definitely. I'm just trying to wait. have some other people I'm hoping will join because we were just speaking about you on Friday.
Mhm.
And I have a family that actually wants to meet you as well. So, and I'm sending them texts right now to get them on. We'll see what happens. Sister,
So have you
oh,
spoken with the people who are doing the land in Alabama?
I stay in contact with them on a regular basis.
Okay.
I actually tried to contact Brother Scott uh, prior to the Zoom meeting, and I couldn't get through to him. So he must have been busy.
Okay.
I definitely want to connect you and him together.
Yeah, because yeah, I would love to see us have a melanated group of mud builders to do whatever it is they want to do on that land.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking forward to it. Sister,
So how are you feeling? You're a lot better?
every time I pack a box, I get happier. Every time I pack a box, I get happier.
When do you retire?
Let me see. Gotta pull it up. 2 months, 9 days, 5 hours, and 41 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about.
I have on my 90-day schedule here, I have 16 tours left.
Right.
And I'm gonna use some sick days and sprinkle them in there. So it's gonna be less than that.
I hear you.
Okay. My
Yeah.
last day is November the 28th. That's gonna be my Thanksgiving.
All right.
Thanksgiving to Allah for allowing me to make it my 20 years.
Yeah.
Have my health, inshallah.
Yes.
Thank you for asking. Sister Peggy, you got your hand up.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Um,
So
Wow.
next Saturday, the 13th of September, is Auditors Celebration Day. So what is everybody going to be doing? Anyone connected with an org that they're going to be doing a program, or if they're doing a program at their mosque or their study group, or
What is it?
Auditors Appreciation Day or Auditors Day celebration?
Oh,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm scheduled to work that day.
okay.
Just interested, that's all.
Mhm.
Praise
Just
be
interested
for
to know.
Allah.
So that's, to me, that's the essence of, that's the number one personnel of Dianetics is the auditor.
Mhm.
Well, of course, yeah. So I
Yes, ma'am.
just kind of wondering what people were doing to celebrate that personage.
I personally don't know where I'll be in the world. I may be in Buffalo, New York. I may be in Orlando. I don't know yet.
On that note, Sister Patricia,
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
would you like to announce anything special that has happened recently?
Well, since you insist, yes, sir. So on August 28th, I got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woo-hoo. I wish you were close. I'd throw some rice at you.
I just put some rice in a pan, so that's
All
good.
right, that was me all day. That was me. Just needed some. Praise be
Yes,
for Allah.
ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone.
All
There's
right.
pictures on Facebook somewhere.
Okay. All right. And look who snuck up on us, Sister Sharon. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sharon.
Walaikum salam. Happy Savior's Day.
Happy Savior's Day. How are you?
I'm doing well in yourself. Praise be to Allah.
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Alhamdulillah.
All right. Any thoughts, any questions on last week's Zoom meeting? Or any questions, thoughts about what you received in your email today before we get started?
Wait a minute. We got an email?
Yeah, I sent the email out.
Oh, I got the text message. I have to look into the email.
Okay.
What was
How
about study guide number 4,
The one
right?
that's about study guide, looking at study guide number 4.
Oh, yes.
Mhm. So what happened was um, Friday, uh, we didn't have a busy day, but I think what happened that we generated so much spiritual energy because one of the brothers who when he retired couple of years ago. When he and I would work together, we would be up late at night till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning talking about the Metu Netter and Kemetic spiritualism and religion and metaphysics. He was just one of those brothers. And we'd be up there, we'd be up late. And it just so happened he came by the firehouse on Friday, and there is a sister who I met back in 1994, who I originally met, that was organizing the buses from Newburgh for the Million Man March. And I hadn't seen this sister in a long, long time. And what we're doing right now on the Zoom meeting, this whole concept really started in her dining room. I would, we would go to her home. We had a little dry erase board, on a little stand. And it was that we were kind of doing this on a dry erase board. And that's kind of like where this whole thing started. It started in her home. And at that time, her children were, I think, 5, 7, and maybe 9. And I had a chance to see her daughter. I haven't seen her daughter in about 25 years. And when her daughter saw my face on the phone, she was just in shock and she started crying. And I didn't know how to to take that, because I didn't think she would even remember those days when we were in that, having those meetings and going into the science and the ancient Kemet and all those things. So we were at the firehouse talking until about 2:30 in the morning. And I think all that energy just kept all the calls going, because no calls came in for the whole rest of the tour. So I came home, passed out, and when I woke up, this subject was on my mind. This was the first thing on my mind when I woke up, by Allah's grace. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look into the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the information from study guide number 4, and see if we can line it up with Dianetic technology. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Let's see if we can make a marriage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, who just came in? Brother Stephen. Assalamu alaikum. I hope that's Brother Stephen. Luis. Hopefully he can come on.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. How you doing?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
I'm doing well, doing well.
Good, good. Glad
driving, but I'm doing well.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. So let me pull up my screen. I think I covered everybody. Yes. Let's see. No, I don't want you there. Put this down here. And we'll put that right there. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So we are going to begin at study guide number 4, the struggle for balance. As always, I try to keep a notepad and a pen next to the bed. And when I try to lay down to go back to sleep, I couldn't sleep because this whole concept popped up in my mind. So I jotted down some notes, got up, and actually sat at my computer for about an hour or two, kind of transcribing everything that was coming from my brain. And then today, I put it all in PowerPoint. So I pray Allah that this goes smoothly. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions. If you have your cognitions, feel free to share your cognitions. But let us begin.
Mhm.
I'm going to start here on this ayat. This is one of my favorite. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. And on the day when we raise up in every people a witness against them from among themselves, and bring thee as a witness against these. And we have revealed the book to thee, explaining all things, and a guidance and a mercy and good news for those who submit. And those that have been in the Zoom meeting previously know that many times we have started with this ayat as a reference point to show that everything that we can learn is in the Holy Quran. But we know based on the rules of interpretation, we know some of the ayats are decisive and they're the foundation of the book, and others are allegorical. So we have to do some work and we have to do some studying so that we can go into the Holy Quran by Allah's permission and draw out of the Holy Quran any and all of the information that we could ever need. It's all there. And it will be opened up to us if Allah pleases. Okay. Study guide number 4, the struggle for balance. Okay. So we're going to begin with a quote. We're going to begin with a quote. I mean, it's the Farrakhan. And it says, and he says, struggle is ordained, but the Quran teaches that after difficulty comes ease. God gives you difficulty, then he gives you ease. It is like a blacksmith, if you will, who is shaping a piece of steel. He puts it in the fire, then he beats it, and he cools it. This is the way God forges men and women of character. He does not forge you into great men and women without the fire, the water, and the beating. These are the difficulties of life we must face. We must face them. We must overcome them. All praise is due to Allah. See, the fire and the water and the beating, it's like when you make that sword, you have to, the fire is used to separate the impurities. The water is used to cool it, and the water also strengthens the steel. The beating is what drives the dross out. And that's what we go through. We have to go through the fire. We have to go through the beatings. We have to go through the water. And it's painful, but this is how Allah is shaping and molding individuals that no one can defeat. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. The samurai sword, the katana, and I think it's called the katana and the naginata.
Mm.
The samurai sword is considered to be the strongest blade on the planet. And and I won't go through it now, but when you go through the science of how it is made, there's so much you can extract from that that lines up with Islam, metaphorically. It's very, very, very interesting. Maybe we'll go through that at another time, but we have to go through the fire. We have to take the beatings. We get the water, and then we have to start the whole cycle all over again. Then he says, look at the little bird. See how it pecks its way out of the egg, the shell. It struggles to come forward. Then that bird struggles to get its balance and it struggles to fly. But when it flies, it's gone.
Mm.
God has ordained struggle. He says, look at the caterpillar, how it struggles to get out of the cocoon, and look at human life as it struggles to come forth from the womb. Now, just for a quick minute, I want to touch on something. When you look at that moth or the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, now that butterfly has to struggle, and it looks like it might be painful
Mm-hmm.
for the butterfly to come forth from that cocoon. But now, if you have sympathy for the butterfly and you decide to do something to the cocoon to make things easier for the butterfly, what have you just done?
Interrupted
Interfere.
And
the other.
what's the result of that interference?
because
Something getting pushed down in them. I'm sorry.
Hmm?
I
that
heard. No,
that
go ahead. Go ahead.
butterfly or the
Hmm.
cocoon.
See, sometimes, see, the butterfly has to struggle. What happens is, as it struggles through that tight opening to get out of the cocoon, that tight opening is what pushes there's a fluid in its abdomen,
Mhm.
and it pushes that fluid up into its wings. And that's what gives the wings the strength that the butterfly needs to fly away.
Right.
But we, in our sympathy for the butterfly, we're trying to make it easy for the butterfly. What we've done is we've just made sure that that butterfly will never fly. Does that make sense?
Wow, makes you
Okay.
think about parenting.
Say again.
Makes you think about parenting.
Parenting, yes. Well, trust me, my father, uh, there was no sympathy. My father, I mean, he wasn't abusive, but he was very, very strict. And as a result of his strictness, I am grateful and I am thankful because he didn't make the cocoon easy, in other words.
In Star Trek, when you do something like that, it's that you violated the prime directive.
Yes, of course you would know that, Sister Peggy. You violated the prime directive. You don't interfere. Don't interfere. So sometimes we have to go through our pain, and there's no one there except Allah. No one. And that's how we learn to fly. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see. So he says, coming to birth is painful. It's painful to the mother, but if the baby could tell you what it just came through, the baby would have a story to tell. For oft times, when the baby comes forth, its head is pained, there are bruises on the shoulder because birth is painful. Likewise, he says, you cannot go to new levels of consciousness, new levels of awareness, new levels of power and development without pain. And if you shrink from pain and won't face the pain and face the difficulties, you will never evolve to the people that Almighty God intends for you to be. That is from the self-improvement speech, Basis for Community Development, and that was delivered in Phoenix, Arizona, September 21st, 1986. And this is in volume 1 of our study guides. Well, we've all read this before, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So now our discussion. Let me put this over here. We're just, this whole discussion is based on this one little paragraph. Okay, this one little paragraph. And what came to mind by God's grace, I was looking at this and I saw the tech. I saw processing. I saw auditing in an allegorical way. Does everyone follow that?
Yes, sir.
So here we have the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but contained in these words is a formula. In the
Mhm.
words of Brother Batin, may Allah be pleased with him,
All right, Bob.
this paragraph could represent a fundamental. And what that means is in the study of music, acoustics, or music theory, you have a single note, and that note is called it's called the fundamental, but it's also called the first harmonic. But contained in that note is a whole family of notes that you don't hear. So there's layers of notes that are hidden in that note. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you have a note that vibrates at 110 vibrations per second, and if that's your fundamental, then the next harmonic is whatever note vibrates at 220 and 330 and 440 vibrations. But these other notes, you're not going to be able to hear them uh, until and unless you can train your ear to hear the other notes that are contained within that note. And I say that to say this. When Brother Batin shared this with us, it just revolutionized the way I looked at studying. When we look at the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, it's not just one dimensional, and it's not even two dimensional. It's multi-dimensional. We could take this one paragraph and go deeper and deeper and deeper, and every time we're going to find more and more information in it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this time what we're going to do, the little bird, well, that's you and I.
Right.
Okay, so we're the little bird. We're going to look at the concept of pecks its way out of the egg, which is the shell. We're going to line that up with Dianetic technology.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to look at the concept of struggling to come forward and see how that connects to the tech. The bird struggles to get its balance. It struggles to fly, and then it's gone. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So in this, we have a cycle of action. So we know the cycle of action is start, growth, conservation, decay, and stop. So our start is when the bird is pecking its way out of the egg. The growth is the struggle to come forward. Conservation is the struggle to get balance. Decay is the struggle to fly. And the stop of the cycle is when the bird flies away. Does everyone follow that logic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take what the minister has said here. We're going to not transfer it, but we're going to clear these words in Arabic. We're going to clear these words in Arabic to see if we can find where these words in Arabic, and we can locate them in the Holy Quran. And we're going to see if we can build a bridge between what the minister is teaching us in the study guides, and if it aligns with the Holy Quran and aligns with Dianetic technology. So really, we're looking at this paragraph and applying it to understanding how our mind operates. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
We're going to go a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I think each of us are going to probably travel back and forth on our time track tonight. But we have a room full of well-qualified auditors. So if we happen to stir up some emotion, as always, we're going to connect individuals so that we can either get some straight wiring or some auditing.
Yes, sir.
But I can almost guarantee at least one individual, if not more, might see some things on their time track. Okay. So each of these actually aligns with different principles that are found in the operations of processing. What's the objective? So here's the questions we're going to ask or study. So what is the first struggle the bird experience? Oh, these are the words of the minister. This is from the study guide number 4, but this is question number 2. What is the first struggle the bird experiences after overcoming the difficulty of pecking its way out of the shell? What is the significance of the bird's experience to you and me? So we're gonna take apart or deconstruct that one little paragraph, and we're gonna make it applicable to ourselves individually. And we're gonna do this by marrying it with the tech. Okay. The objective is to prove that contained in the teachings given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan are principles that allow us to gain entry into the knowledge of other ideologies, other belief systems, and other concepts. In other words, what we have been given through the study guides, there's more to self-improvement, the basis of community development. There's more to the self-improvement study guides that meets the eye. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Every time we go through these study guides, it's going to take us deeper and deeper into the mind of God, which is the same as our mind, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Could the struggle of the bird contained in the paragraph that Minister Farrakhan has given us, could that be an allegory for our struggle to get free from our reactive mind? That's how we're gonna look at it.
Okay.
So the questions we're gonna ask is, how is pecking its way out of the egg, the shell, related to Dianetic tech?
Mm.
Is there a relationship between the struggle to come forward and gaining our sanity?
Mhm.
What is the significance of our struggle to get our balance? What could be meant by the struggle to fly?
Mm.
Does flying relate to sanity? Now, we may not get through all of this tonight, but this is what the concepts are. Can we marry the supreme wisdom with the supreme technology? That is the goal. So let's first look at the pecking bird. Any questions up to this point? All right, the pecking bird. So here's the word in Arabic. The word peck comes from the root word nakara. Nakara. It means to peck, to knock, to strike, to remember vaguely, or to recall.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, look at that, right, Sister Angela?
Yes, sir.
So it's almost as if the bird that's inside the shell pecking to get its way to get out is equivalent to a person who's trying to remember or recall data from their past. Does that make sense?
Come on now.
Okay. The
Mm.
pecking bird. So processing when an auditor is working with a pre-clear and those that audit on a consistent basis know if you're dealing with an occluded case, sometimes you have to try to find a morsel or find just one perceptic. So you
Mm-hmm.
can start building your case, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you might say, okay, can you go to this? I can't find nothing. Can't find nothing. Okay, so you might say, okay, just listen. Just look around. Do you hear anything? Do you
Mhm.
see anything? Oh, I see a tree. Okay, we got the perceptive. Okay. What does the tree look like? Do you see anything near the tree? What we're trying to do is we're trying to get some pecking to start to get out of this shell, right?
Mm.
Okay. So the bird is pecking. What we're doing is we're trying to gain back those attention units, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so in Arabic, pecking means to remember vaguely or to recall, but we know in the text, this is called returning, yes?
Wow. Yes, sir.
Okay. Nakara also means to find fault, criticism, or flaws. Well, isn't that part of processing?
Absolutely.
Okay. Finding the faults, the criticism, and flaws. That's why we're crazy. That's why we're aberrated. That's why we're dramatizing. Because we are in present time, but we still live with the faults, the criticism, and the flaws, which we could call invalidations, correct?
Yes, sir.
From our past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is all in session.
Mhm. Or pecking could be when we have to, we're trying to find the circuits, which are the things that people have said to us that we still carry around.
Mm.
We also have to locate our overts, meaning the things that we've done to other people.
Mhm.
Because, yes, the reason why we are in the state or condition we're in is because of what has been done to us. But now we also have to confront what we have done to others. But we have to understand that what we have done to others, 9 times out of 10, it's based on either what was done to us or what we witnessed, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nakara also means to excavate, which means
Mm,
dig out and remove, to expose to view by or as if by digging away a covering.
mm,
Okay, well, wait a minute, go back. Okay. And aren't isn't that what the auditor's doing?
absolutely.
Okay. Go back to the beginning, go over it again, pick up whatever additional data you can contact. What are you doing? You're excavating.
Mm,
You're you're like an archaeologist. Archaeologists will dig, and the deeper a archaeologist digs, they come to different layers in the soil, and the different layers of soil are equivalent to different time periods, right?
yes.
And the deeper into the soil you go, really, the further back you're going back into the past.
Right.
So an auditor is like a mental archaeologist,
Mm,
and the soil is the time track.
mm.
Does everyone follow that logic?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Spiritual physician.
Yes, ma'am. Spiritual physician. Sister Peggy, I saw your hand up.
Okay, so you say that the soil is equivalent would be like what?
Like the time track.
How?
Because the way the soil works in archaeology, the soil,
Oh,
the deeper you go in the soil, um, you get to different time periods. That's why sometimes you'll hear in the news where they dug down in the
okay.
earth and they found different bones, or they found different plates or pottery, or they found structures. Because if you go back to that time period, let's say that you find something that's like 1,000 years old, that means at that time there was no soil there. So as you're digging down in the soil, you're actually going back in time, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you follow that, Sister Peggy?
Yes, because yeah, I do now because
Okay.
when you said soil,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of like gardening soil that's easy to get to, that's
Oh
easy to.
no, we're talking about when we're digging. You
But
know,
when you're talking about archaeological digging,
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
that's
Man,
different. That's like not, it's not even dirt, it's something else. I don't know.
it's you're going deep. You're going
Deep.
deep down into the earth.
And then you think about the pecking order, the pecking. When you
Okay.
talk about pecking, I thought about pecking order.
Okay.
So someone is pecking, you peck on someone because you have a right to, because there's a pecking order,
Mm-hmm.
and then that person pecks on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Then that person can peck, or bird rather, pecks on another bird, then pecks on another bird. And then if you're at the very end of the pecking order, then you don't have anyone to peck on.
Yeah, and
It all
everyone's
comes
pecking on
on
you.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly right. And for some of us, that's what happened.
Hmm.
You were the one that everyone is pecking on.
That's right.
Yeah. Sister Anya.
Yes, sir. Even though in the definition of peck you give to knock or strike, which would um, kind of carry the connotation of um, heavy knocking or
Mm-hmm.
heavy striking. But when you look at the word to excavate, normally when you're on an archaeological dig, it's a very slow, tedious, and careful process.
Yes, ma'am.
They use instruments and tap very lightly
Mm-hmm.
so as not to damage whatever it is that they may find.
Mm-hmm.
And they use little brushes to brush away the dirt as part of the excavation. So it made me think of the auditor
Mm-hmm.
who was going in very carefully. So as it exposes things to view, then what is exposed now is handled with great care, very
Mm-hmm.
delicately.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So, Sister Anya, what would happen if you excavated a site and you were just using shovels and picks and you were just digging like you just, just people just digging? What would happen if there happened to be something valuable there? What would happen?
You're going to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Sister Patricia, What would you do if you were auditing someone, but you're being very rough with them? What could they possibly do? Or Sister Angela or Sister Peggy, anyone that does auditing, what would happen if you were really rough with a pre-clear in your auditing? What could possibly happen?
That would basically end their flow. You interrupt their flow so they can either stop talking, become more aberrated, re-stimulated. It wouldn't move. The
What
case cease.
what is the term? What is one of the terms that is used when the auditing ceases? What has the auditor just caused in the pre-clear? What is that called?
You have to remind me. That's
Wouldn't that be an ARC break?
great. I said
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just like if you're digging with shovels and picks, you'll break something valuable. If you audit someone rough, you're gonna break them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, Sister Anya, that was a very good point you brought up. Very good point.
and I
Yes, ma'am.
because when I look at this, I mean I understand, but I'm looking at it from the point of I look at the shell as a suppressive person or an engram in
Mm-hmm.
itself. So, and I look at of course, me being the bird, I am valuable. However, I have to use certain force and power to get through that shell.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this is something what I think they're on part 4, maybe 5 next week of building a will nationally. And Brother Ishmael was touching on it today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, certain things require certain force. Now, a skilled auditor can, like I had a case that she just did not want me. That's just she didn't want me nowhere near the engram because it was painful. And every time I would ask, no matter what direction I would come from, I don't see anything, I don't hear anything, I don't smell anything, I don't hear nothing. So eventually, by Allah's grace and mercy, there was, we got through it, and it took a certain type of persistence that can wear some auditors down. Because somebody it was, and I was a very new auditor, and it took me 3 hours just to get her to say what she see. Then we still had to do the actual session after that.
Mm-hmm.
So that part of it, I think, it is a struggle for balance. So there's a time for force and power, and there's a time to be more delicate.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Angela.
Also, Brother Lukman,
Mm-hmm.
um, I had an audit. I had to do a repair. Someone else had audited someone, and they were in a rush, and they ended the session before everything was run out. And the person had a headache when
Mm-hmm.
she got out of session, and she didn't feel good for a whole week. And so she had to come back in, and they did a repair. And you have to clear everything out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to clear whatever was left behind. You have to clear it out. And she was so happy after her session. So you got to be very careful. And like she was talking about in the dig, in the archaeological dig, you have to be very careful and touch everything.
That's right. That's right. Most definitely. Thank you, Sister Patricia. Sister Anya.
Yes, the remarks that Sister Angela made brought to mind another point, that the force that she spoke of is I saw that coming more from the the pre-clear or the person being audited.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at the shell that the little bird is in, the little bird is, I mean, it's a little tiny thing, and to the bird pecking away at the shell, it's a difficulty. That shell is a hard thing. It's got to apply force to get through that shell. But if we, as grown folks, if we pick up an egg, we have to handle it with such care, because for us, we can just apply small pressure and crush that shell with ease.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that as being the balance in how we the auditors are handling the pre-clear, but applying the kind of pressure and force to enable the pre-clear to do, because we're trying to encourage them to do the work for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
to bring themselves out of that condition. So we're applying pressure in a way to enable them to apply the force that they need to get out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Let me see. Sister Machada. Assalamu alaikum. You're on mute if you're trying to speak to us. And I have another sister here. I don't want to mispronounce the name, but it looks like, oh, go ahead. Sister Machada?
Walaikum salam, sir. I apologize. I was muted.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I am well. Thank you. And yourself?
Grateful and thankful.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
That name, I'm sorry, that name you're trying to say is Kamaya.
Kamaya. Okay, let me guess. Are these individuals that you were able to text to get in?
Sure.
Sister Kamaya, assalamu alaikum.
I hope she's not a driver.
Assalamu alaikum. I do apologize. I'm in shop right. I didn't want to, interrupt, but it's just what I need. Thank you. Is there anything you need?
No, I'll text you.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
That's my sister, brother.
Okay, all right. All right, let's get to it. All right, so that is the first word we cleared in Arabic. Now, it also means to snap one's fingers. Now, that's a tool that's used in the tech, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a tool that's used to, I'm trying to think how it's worded in the tech. Snap, answer, repeated technique, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's like pecking. It's used when you're trying to get a time, a date, or a location. You use a snap answer, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, what do you mean?
Let's say, for example, you have a case that's kind of difficult. So you might say, okay, give me an age, and you snap your finger. And the person might, the purpose of the snap is to give the first answer that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Okay?
You have to speak to the file clerk first.
Right. So if I'm auditing someone and we're kind of stuck, I say, okay, give me the first, it's also called a flash answer. Give me the first age that comes to your mind. Boom. 13. Okay, then you say, okay, so what happened at the age of 13? And then what will happen is that person will say at the age of 13, such and such, such and such happened. So then you say, okay, let's go to that event. Are you there? Yes. Begin at the beginning and recount it.
Right.
And you come to find out there was something at the age of 13. The file clerk flashed the age. But that's what the snap is used for in the text. Does that make sense?
So are you saying that Dianetics has proven that the first answer that comes to mind when you not trying to think about it is relevant?
Oh, it's very relevant. Very relevant. Sister Angela, Sister Peggy, Sister Patricia, have you ever used that snap answer with any success?
All the time.
All the
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
And can I add this really quick?
Of course, of course.
I think this world has us really in a we question our own judgment a lot, and we question, I think, reality versus fantasy. What Dianetics uncovered, even when someone is recalling, um, like the man getting, he's recounting being attacked with a bayonet.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody start laughing because we know he wasn't physically alive when that happened. But the deeper we study, we understand that we are ancient beings having a physical experience. So we have many lives. So what I'm saying is our mind brings up what is available, not that we made it up. So it is becoming a very exact science when that answer, especially you have to open it up and say, I like to speak with the file clerk because those words open up the chest. So when you're asked a flash answer, we don't think about it and rationalize it to narrow it down because we could have skipped pertinent information. So instead of going back to 13, we might end up at 19 because we don't think 13 is what's wrong with me. So I have a lot of success with that. Even in straight wires, I do that.
Mm-hmm.
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 And even if the auditor and the preacher are lost somewhere, you can talk to the file clerk and say the file clerk will now give me the engram to resolve this case. Snap your
Right.
finger and it comes out.
Right.
I don't know what comes out. Can you just
The engram, the engram.
can you just do a quick scenario of like what that
Um,
would be?
so if a person is just giving random information and not focused on whatever it is that he sees or hears or whatever, and you're not getting anywhere, you're not moving on the track, you can talk to the file clerk and tell the file clerk, when I snap my finger, you will give me the engram to resolve this case. And you snap your finger, and whatever comes to the pre-clear's mind, they have to say it right then, and you can work it. You can run it from there, if that makes sense to you. Because some things are occluded. Sometimes a pre-clear can't see something. That happened to me when I was being audited. I couldn't see something that happened to me. And so I was in the session for a very long time, and then we finally got to it, and I didn't even believe it. And we're not supposed to invalidate our own data, but that was an incident that happened to me that had no knowledge of happening. And 6 years later, I was telling my sisters about Dianetics. I was working at the church in Atlanta, and I was telling them what Dianetics does. And I told them the situation, and my sister said, I remember that happened to me. And it just opened up a whole nother part of my mind, and it was just amazing to me. It was just amazing to me. So sometimes we can't see what's there, and we use different techniques to try to get you to see something that you maybe not want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Sister Sharon, how far into book one are you? Or wait, or did you finish book
I
one?
am just about I'm at chapter 9. I'm just not almost halfway, maybe
Okay.
one lesson away from halfway through.
Okay.
Mm.
So the reason why I ask is the further you get through the book, a lot of this will start to make sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
You'll start to see it. And then when you start to actually drill and you start to actually do some auditing, you'll audit, but you'll have a supervisor present and you'll start to have to use these tools. Then once you start to use the tools and you go through the auditing and the tools are used on you, you'll be able to see it from both sides how this works.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, so this is that one. Okay, the peck. Okay, so can we agree that there's a marriage between the word peck, the Arabic word nakara, and how we can show how it is equivalent to concepts found in Dianetic tech? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the process of pecking could represent remembering and recalling. events from the past, which is called returning. It could represent returning to criticisms and invalidations that we have received, and it could represent returning to our own faults, flaws, and mistakes that we have made in the past. Does that flow with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Because part of us getting back into a sane mind or getting out of our aberrated mind, we have to confront the things that were done to us, and we have to confront the things that we've done. But the things that we've done, 9 times out of 10, we are reliving in present time the things that were done to us, and these are things we do to other people. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone that
absolutely.
does anyone need an example of how that works?
I would like an example.
Okay, good, good, good. So, for example, let's say in the past you had a family member that was always hating on you. And let's say, let's say, because this is part of what I had to go through growing up, being the complexion that I am, living in the South, um, the dark skinned brothers and sisters down there, to them, not only was I, they quote unquote a red bone, I thought I was cute because I was light skinned, but also because, oh, that nigga's from New York. He thinks he's pretty. Okay. So a good example would be you have a family member, if you're dark complexion, they criticize you about your complexion and how ugly it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in life, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, man, I'm just ugly. And you don't realize that's not you saying it. That's the circuit that was planted. That was the needle that was stuck in the brain by a family member 20 years ago that said those words to you that hurt your feelings. And in hurting your feelings, now that whole circuit is in your head now. So now you're repeating what's coming to your mind, but what you're saying doesn't belong to you.
Right.
It's what was said to you that hurt your feelings when you were a child. Does that make sense, Sister Kamaya?
Yes, it does. It's registering. Yes.
Okay. So if we take English lesson
Thank you.
C1 and it says, why does he fear now that he's a grown man? Because he ate the wrong food when he was a child. We could say, why does she think she's ugly now as a black woman? Because she was taught to think she was ugly when she was a black child. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Like it was programmed,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
It was programmed.
Right.
Exactly. Brother Doctor. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I have a question
Mhm.
as I'm working through the book one and some other literature. If that circuit that you just outlined was implanted, what distinguishes that from an engram, which, to my understanding, is implanted when a person is in a state of unconsciousness, whereas these things can be implanted while conscious?
The 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 circuit is part of the engram. And the engram, the basic structure of an engram is a moment of unconsciousness, some type of an injury, a person, and what was said. So let's say it let's say it like this. Let's say right before the comment that was made, about someone's complexion, they got smacked or they were getting spanked. Okay. If you're from the South, you got tagged with that switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That switch will cause a momentary lapse of consciousness, won't it?
And can
Mm.
The switch will cause the reactive mind to switch on for a split second, right?
Yes, sir.
And if those things were said to an individual while they were getting torn up with that switch, because he even says, even burning your finger momentarily, there's a switch between the analytical and the reactive mind. Okay,
Right.
it might be quick, but it happens briefly. But if you're getting tagged with that switch, and from what I remember, parents don't hit you just once. You get hit multiple times, so your reactive mind will turn on for at least 10 to 15 seconds. And during that time period, something could have been said like, excuse my language, get your black ass over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Hold still. Now, what happens is your reactive mind records that, and now your blackness becomes negative, and now hold still. Your reactive mind takes that literally. So now your whole life, you're always holding still, meaning there's a decision that needs to be made, but you can't make it because you're holding still. You need to go to, you have a desire to go to college, but you don't go to college because you're holding still. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Just Angela.
I like to add something. Well, when we ask the person to go back to a time where there was emotional and or physical
Mm-hmm.
pain.
Mm-hmm.
So the example you used, it could be a student that went to school, didn't get much sleep the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and is not, and we know when we're sleepy, we can receive engrams.
Yes, ma'am.
That's part of that's a form of not being all the way conscious.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Absolutely
Okay.
right.
And then we get something said like that, and it brings our tones way down, and it causes an engram. But the correlation that I'm walking up on right now, it's important that we check our tone scale daily, more times a day, because I don't know if we understand the connection between our tone being low and receiving engrams. When our tone is low, like we in that really low tone of depression, or even, or I don't know if it's a sleep in a dead level, but when we on a low tone, we're I'm trying to say, but like right now, but we can receive add-ons to already probably keyed in or restimulated engrams. So that's another way, Brother Wadu. It doesn't even, you don't even have to fall or trip, or we just need a moment of not totally conscious and an emotional pain that can cause an engram.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. All right. Okay, so now as far as healing is concerned, our healing is on 4 levels. And this in the tech is called the 4 flows. So we have to confront what has been done to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easy part.
Okay.
One of the reasons why, there's one of the reasons why believers are avoiding auditing like a vampire avoids holy water. And I'm not saying that in a way to be comical, even though it sounds comical. Some of us really don't want to go back to confront what has happened to us because of the pain that's involved in that. And that's understandable. Some of us have the thought that how can I put this? What we don't realize is the things that have the most control over us are the things that we can't remember.
You better teach on that.
We think we can remember everything happened. We think, no, I'm okay.
He's
But
saying
we're not
that
okay.
Come on.
It's the things that
some of
we
the things we
don't
went through in our
remember.
past that may have impacted us. He was just saying.
Yes, sir, Brother Roderick. Go ahead and teach, brother.
Oh, wait, Brother
Oh,
Roger's
so,
here?
you know what? I'm sorry. I was just relating what Brother Lukeman was saying because it's resonating. I just got on Brother Lukeman, but I'm already being hit by lightning.
Okay, brother.
So
I didn't know you were
let me
here,
know.
brother.
Yeah, calm down with all that light, brother. All that light.
It ain't mine, brother. It ain't mine. So the pain is we can't remember what has happened, but we still feel the effects of what was done.
Yes. Yes.
We feel the effects of what was done,
Yeah. Yep.
but we can't remember it. And so that's why some of us avoid auditing because we think we remember everything that took place in our childhood and we don't.
Right.
Yes,
But,
sir.
but the painful part is that, okay, why isn't this? Nope, get back here. There we go. We have to confront what we have done or what we are still doing to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
and that's what we don't want to deal with
Mm-hmm.
because ego gets in the way. We don't want to accept the fact that we are
Not
causing a nuisance on other people's posts, in other
right.
words. And so what we have to realize is what we have done to others is on one level is not our fault because sometimes or the majority of the times, and Sister Angela, Sister Peggy, Sister Patricia, and anyone else that has been doing auditing, if you have any data about this, how many times have you found out that what the person has been saying or what the person has been doing is based on what was said or what was done to them, and they're just dramatizing or acting out the stronger person in that act that took place?
And
Yes, sir. Yes,
valence.
sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just acting out because when we went through that as a child, you have a superior person and you have an inferior person. So the child in this case was the inferior and the adult was the superior. So now in present time, if you had to choose which person to reenact, you're not going to reenact the inferior person.
Right.
So you're going to dramatize the valence of the superior person, and you're
Mm-hmm.
going to do to other people actually what was done to you.
Right.
That's why bullies do what they do. They bully people at school because they themselves were bullied.
Mm.
Right.
Okay. And that's the key to remember. Confront what we've done, but understand that it's not our fault. We're just reenacting the stuff that happened to us. We also reenact the things we witnessed done between people.
Right.
Okay. And so, even in that, there was a superior person, there was an inferior person. So, when we have a traumatizing situation where we're witnessing something that was just devastating, we're going to reenact and say the same thing that the person said, but we're going to say that to people in present time. So, if a person pushes our button, we snap at them. But what we're doing is we're reenacting, we're verbalizing a circuit and reenacting the energy that we witnessed. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as a result of that, there's things that we do to ourselves because we are
Mm-hmm.
sometimes our own worst enemy.
Yes.
Sister Shannon.
So does that mean like when you have to remember when you have to confront what has been done to you have to unravel what has been done to you, and when you have to confront what you have done to others, once you know what has been done to you, don't you then see what you have done to others?
Not always. It doesn't always work that way.
Right.
It doesn't always work that way because
Because
understand that your mind is still going to fight this thing.
yeah.
And book one auditing, that's only for finding the things that were done to you. Book one is not used for you to talk about what you've done to others. That's a whole nother level of processing. And it's laser sharp. I can tell you from experience.
Yes, sir.
It's like a laser.
So,
And I don't mind. I'll share this. I'll share this brief thing with us. I don't mind sharing this. But when I was at Flag in December, I went down for 3 weeks to get higher level auditing. But there was something from my childhood that was bothering me for over 40 years. And on one level, I said to myself, I want to get this burden off my mind. But on another level, I didn't want to confront it.
Mm-hmm.
And before I left, I just prayed on it. I said, all I just, if it comes up, please just relieve me of it. Cause I was tired of carrying it around. And I was trying to figure out a way of tricking the cans so that I wouldn't have to deal with it. And that's in and of itself, you can't do it. You can't trick the can. It's fun. If those who understand what the cans are, there's no way you can't lie. This technology is real.
Yes.
Okay, it's real. So I was going to find a way to avoid it. And the way it works, and I'm just telling this on a superficial level because I don't know the whole technology of how the cans work, but the cans, it can detect subtle, it's like electrical signals, and it detects certain things. So when they ask you a question, it'll it'll make the needle jump. And for me, the auditor asked a specific question, and my needle jumped. She goes, "That right there, what was that?" And I was like, "Damn it!" Because I was like, and then I sat down. I was like, "Okay, can I lie? Can I just act like it? Can I substitute some other information and maybe?" But in my mind, I'm thinking, if I want to go clear, I got to let this go. I got to confront it. And there was another brother who just the day before shared a similar experience. There was something from his past. He decided to confront it. And when he let it go, it was like the whole world was lifted off his shoulders.
How long did it take?
5, 10 minutes. The cans is a whole nother
It's
thing. It
like
don't take
a
all those
polygraph.
hours.
It's like a polygraph.
Right? It's kind of like a polygraph.
Oh,
So the cans make processing go by very, very fast because you pinpoint specific. You don't have to go searching for stuff. You just watch that needle and it'll tell you it's right there. Okay. So I dealt with it. I confronted it, and then I thought I was good. Now the auditor, she was like doing a root canal. She was excavating, and she kept asking me more questions and more questions and more questions, and I was getting angrier and angrier. I was like the woman that Jesus was talking to, and all the demons were coming out cursing him.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting angry as hell because in my mind I'm thinking, look, I've already confronted this. Stop asking me these damn questions. And she,
did you did
huh?
you know did you know the answers to what she was asking you?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
not want to
yeah,
think about it?
yeah.
Oh, you
I knew
knew
I
the
knew what it
answer.
was. I knew what it was. I didn't want to confront it. I didn't want to verbalize it. I didn't want to let it go
Oh,
because we all have Brother Abdul Sharif, the regional minister for the South. He did a lecture years ago, and he talked about the little black box. And he said the little black box is that thing that we either have done or we're still doing, and no one knows about it except Allah. It's what we keep hidden in the darkness that no one knows about. And we all have had that little black box from our past. And that's why in present time, we have to realize some of us still carry around the guilt of our past, but Allah has already forgiven us of that and thrown that into the sea of forgetfulness. We still hold on to things, but Allah has already forgiven us for it. That's why Minister Farrakhan says, I think it's study guide number 7, get rid of fear and get rid of guilt, because Allah already knew who he was when he found us. Does that make sense?
That's right.
Okay. So she kept digging, digging, digging. And then I started crying. I mean, I was boohooing. I was letting it all out. And she kept digging. She kept digging. And then finally, I said to myself, I said, I forgive myself. And then, as Allah is my witness, in my mind, I heard someone say, and I forgive you too. And that was the sign I was looking for. And when I heard that in my mind, she looked at me smiling and she said, your needle is floating. And when your needle is floating, that means it's gone. Boom, done. And that has not troubled me since. It's I left that in clear water.
sounds like having a fever, and then the fever gets
Breaks.
fever, yeah, a
Fever
pain, and
breaks.
then
Yes. I had a 40-year plus fever, and it broke. And after that, my whole life just it went up a notch and just changed. I was able to let that go.
Ooh,
Sister
wow.
thank you, Sister Sharon. Sister Peggy.
Okay, you don't have to show the screen,
Mhm.
but those confrontations is what has been done to you, what we have done to others, what we have witnessed done to others, and what?
What we do to ourselves.
Hmm.
Because
Okay,
we abuse ourselves. Sometimes we abuse ourselves. Some people cut themselves.
okay, thank you.
Yes, we abuse ourselves. If we're not eating right, we're abusing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're not getting proper rest, proper sleep, we're abusing ourselves. So what we do to ourselves is those are the four flows. Uh, Sister Angela.
Yes, sir. I wanted to I know I mentioned this before. One of my discoveries when I first went to the org after doing the conference in Chicago, the co-auditing
Mm-hmm.
extended course. So in book one, I found something that L. Ron Hubbard said, and you just gave me the mask for it. I mean, I had my own understanding of it, of course. It made sense when I kind of measured it with the past as far as believers, because the success of the nation in the first shows that there was something present that they were able to overcome and get things done.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that is, it seems that we need help with. Hence, we were introduced to the technology.
Mm-hmm.
L. Ron Hubbard said, "Our in words, I'm gonna put it in this how I understand it. Our faith and our relationship with God can overcome or override any engram we have."
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was to me. Their faith was so solidified in the first. I mean, they didn't even question. They couldn't have a Star Trek Enterprise because they wouldn't have a show. These were, they carried out instructions. What made Star Trek show is the insubordination to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just listening and comparing it even with the struggle for balance, the study guides, all of the literature. We got the answers to every problem that we may have. We got to find out what's causing us, not to look into the lessons and to, we know Muslims, we don't supposed to let a something that's bothering us or a disagreement or, lose any sleep. They don't supposed to see three suns. We try to handle it in 24 hours, but we have to handle it by Allah in three
Mm-hmm.
in 3 days. So you just gave me mass with that. So the more we pull to Allah and perfect ourselves, and like you said, we have to be reminded that Allah forgave us. What's causing that? So it really is intertwined in our faith, and we really have to examine that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah.
Brother Lukeman,
Yes.
I had an experience, and I don't know if it's because I'm an auditor. I've been an auditor for a long time, but I'm generally not a disrespectful person. And I was talking to a sister once a couple years ago, and I went off on her, and she was an authority figure. It was a sister captain, and I'm just going off and going off. And when I finished talking, I was saying, "What the heck just happened?"
Mm-hmm.
So it really bothered me. So for a few days went by, and I kept thinking about it. Why did I do that? Why did I was in someone else's valence?
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Wow!" And that's what the person had did to me, and that's
Yeah.
what I did to her. My mind was really blown that it came up
Mm-hmm.
that fast, because normally we don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very interesting.
Yes, ma'am. Those things
Yes.
have to take place. Um, I've heard the minister teach it like this. He said the Most High Elijah Muhammad used to teach on Leviathan, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Leviathan was a big fish that lived at the bottom of the ocean, and that there was a way you can hit the waters and make the water spin and bring Leviathan up. And the
Yeah.
waters represent emotion.
Yes.
That's the same thing. That what came out, that was Leviathan.
Yes, sir.
Leviathan. That's just a demo kit.
Yes.
When emotional waters of our life is whipped in a whirlwind, it brings this creature out.
Yes.
That's when we cuss people out.
Yes.
Some of us have Leviathan, some of us have whole schools of fish.
Yes, sir.
So thank you, Sister Patricia.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sophie.
Walaikum salam, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing okay, I think.
You
Well,
think?
that's great to hear.
Praise be to Allah.
That's great. I'm still here, sister. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. We're just glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Come on down. There you go. Okay. So pecking and returning. So this is what returning is. Returning means it's an inherent ability of the remembering mechanisms of the mind by which a person can send a portion of his mind to a past period on either a mental or combined mental and physical basis, and can re-experience incidents which have taken place in his past in the same fashion and with the same sensation as before. It is the method of retaining the body and the awareness of the subject in present time while he is told to go back to a certain incident. In other words, this is not hypnotism. Okay.
Right.
The person is fully aware of everything that they're going through, because hypnotism, you can actually insert valences and circuits and all this other crazy stuff.
Right.
Okay. So the word pecking in the study guide, in Arabic, that word is nakara, and in the tech, that will be the same as returning. Do we all agree with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's look at what the egg is and let's look at what the shell is. So in Arabic, the word for shell is al-sadafa. It means to turn away from, to avoid, or to shun. Now, this is going to get interesting in a minute because I'm going to pull up a quote from the Bible. And when we read it the first time, it's going to sound very confusing. But we're going to break these verses down from the Bible. And I think everyone is going to be able to relate to this. Okay. So the activities, the thoughts or words that we should turn away from, avoid, and shun are the very actions that we wrestle with the most because we're stuck doing it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Say that again?
The activities, the thoughts or words that we should turn away from, avoid, and shun are the very actions that we wrestle with the most because we're doing them.
Right.
So in psychology, those are called compulsions.
Right.
We say, you know what, I'm only going to eat one meal a day. And then by 12 o'clock noon, we're eating the bag of potato chips or the ice cream. Like, damn it. So the things that we know we should be doing or the things we should be avoiding, those are actually the things we're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. There's certain things we're trying not to say. You know, some of us sometimes we cuss. I know I do. And I keep telling myself, I gotta get better with my language. So I'm trying to avoid it, but I'm still doing it. I'm not doing it purposely. It's just a compulsion. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some of us want to eat one meal a day, but it ain't happening, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the language of Dianetics, the things that we should turn away from, avoid, or shun, those are called overts, withholds, justification, and miswithholds. Now, does anyone need any more data to explain what those things are?
What's a miswithhold?
Okay, good question. Well, since you asked the miswithhold, I'll hit all four of them. So an overt is a sin. Same thing as a sin. That's easy, right? Everyone follow?
Yes.
Okay. A withhold is a sin that nobody knows about. Okay, a sin or a withhold is something we do. Like it says in the Holy Quran, it says, and when they are alone with their devil, when they're with those who believe, they say we believe. But
Mm-hmm.
when they're alone with their devils, they say, surely we're with thee. We were only mocking, right?
Right.
With what we do when no one's around.
Mm-hmm.
Does everyone follow that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A justification is the reason why we do it. We make evil fair seeming. We find a way in our mind to justify doing the things that we'll need to be doing. I'll give you an example. Um, we're supposed to eat one meal a day. I go to work and the guys are fixing breakfast. We're not supposed to eat breakfast, but then I justify it by saying, well, in Islam, if someone offers you a meal, you're not supposed to turn it down.
Please.
That's called the justification. Okay, so we justify the things that we do. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and a missed withhold is something we've done, but we're not quite sure if we don't know if someone saw it or not. So I'll give you an example. So let's say, for example, um, let's say an individual took some money out of, okay, you took the money out your mother's purse when you were little. And then later on, your mother says, you know, I found out there was some money, it's my purse, and I know the person's in this room. Now you sit there thinking, did she see me? Does she know? So now there's this weight on the mind of, I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna get tore up or not. Did she see me? Did she not see me? I don't know. That's what a missed withhold is. You did it. You think someone might have seen you, but you're not 100% sure. But now it's nagging you because you don't know whether they did or did not. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone ever in the past experienced that?
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Oh, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure. Sister Anya, you're on mute, Sister Anya, if you're trying to speak.
My question is, um, along with this overt justifications, withholds, and all of that, um, things from our past, because you mentioned earlier that um, things that were done or said in the past, but they're things that we're not aware of, that are causing us to have a problem. Okay. But then there's things that we do or that we're struggling with that before we came into the nation, and I'll take, for instance, eating 3 times a day, or eating more than once a day. Most of us, prior to coming in the nation, we ate 2 or 3 meals a day and snacks all in between, and ice cream all through the middle of the night and wee hours of the morning, those type of things. And it wasn't a sin. We didn't consider it a sin. We didn't consider it to be anything wrong until we were given How to Eat to Live. And so now it's something that if we're still struggling with trying to get to 1 meal a day or giving up the snacks and whatever part of How to Eat to Live we struggle with, where does that fit in?
You mean the reason why we're snacking?
Well, not the reason, but how we're processing that in terms of how it's affecting our mind, because it's not something from our past, because growing up or in our younger years, that was our lifestyle. It wasn't considered a sin to eat 3 meals a day. That was In fact, that we were taught that that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
So it wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be something that back then it was affecting us and causing us to have a problem mentally or in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
But since we came into the nation and then we learned that we should be just eating one meal a day, now it becomes something that for some, maybe for some it was easy to do, but for most, we struggle with that. We go back and forth, we vacillate back and forth between, having maybe a week or two where we're doing one meal a day, and then we're falling off the wagon again, and now we've gone back to the ice cream and the potato chips and everything that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that fit into the Dianetic process?
Okay. Let's look at it from this perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I remember Dr. Gabor Mate saying. He says, whenever a person has an addiction, he said the addiction is actually not the problem. He said the addiction is actually the solution that's being used to solve a problem. So for example, can we say alcohol, if a person has drinks alcohol, or if a person is using narcotics, if a person is smoking weed, could we say that they're using those drugs because they're suffering from anxiety or grief? And I use those two because we pray on that. I seek that refuge from anxiety and grief, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we know that the drug is not the problem. That's just the way that the individual deals with the real underlying problem. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So now, what if a person eating 3 meals a day because it's a food addiction? What if an individual is eating because of anxiety or grief or stress? That means we look at it as, oh, that person's just snacking. But if you get to the root of it, there might be an underlying reason why they're using food as a way of dealing with something. So it means there's a possibility that there's something underlying why the person is always eating. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So for some of us, we're addicted to food. But because there's no law against that, we don't think of anything of it. We look at a person who smokes weed, drinks alcohol, uses fentanyl, uses heroin, and we say, oh, look at that, you're using that as a drug. But some of us are doing the same thing with food. Some of us are addicted to sugar. So our eating 3 times a day, some of us are eating just so we can get to the dessert. And I use that because I'm guilty of that. I have caught myself doing that. I justify eating a whole big salad just to get a bowl of ice cream. That's the craziness in my own mind. But hey, I'm confronting it. It's about confronting.
I have no problem saying I'm a sugarholic.
But sugar, the Chappelle show, Rick James, he said cocaine's a hell of a drug. Well, sugar is running a close second. I think I've heard, I haven't proven this, but I've heard that sugar is like one molecule away from being like cocaine. Processed sugar is a monster. And if you don't think so, try going 24 to 40 hours without having any sugar of any kind. And watch the reactive mind come to birth. So can you see how that might be a possibility, Sister Anya?
Okay, so the whatever the addiction is, then it's not so much to focus on the addiction, but what's at the root of it.
At the root. Because if you can remove the root, then the person don't need the drug anymore.
Okay.
The drug is just how a person they're using the drug as a solution, even though it has negative effects. if that's the only way they can relieve themselves for that moment of the anxiety that's existing in their mind right then and there, then that's one of the reasons why a person will engage uh, in the drug, in the addictive behavior, is because the anxiety is so, or the emotion is so painful. At least it gives them a temporary relief. Unfortunately, when the drug wears off, what do? They have to get another hit now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I was just looking more at things that we did um, prior to being in the nation that were considered normal, acceptable behavior. It wasn't looked upon as being something um, wrong or sinful.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the way we were taught as from childhood, that these are just normal things that you do. This is you um, and I'm not just using the food thing as an example because it's an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
We were taught to eat 3 meals a day,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And so in our minds, we wouldn't have anything programmed in our mind that particular activity was wrong.
Okay, how about this? If anyone's experienced this, if you would like to raise your hand or just speak on it briefly, you can. But how many of us experienced this right here? How many of us in the past, going back to the concept of the switches, how many of us in the past got our butt tore up, and then right after we got tore up, mama really loves you, and then they gave us something to, as almost like an apology for whipping our behind. Did anyone else experience that?
Not in my house.
No one?
No, I never got an apology after I got a
But
whooping.
not, no, I don't say an apology. They gave us something. Maybe sometimes they gave us something that was sweet, or they
No,
gave us something as a means of they felt bad that they had to do it. And I'm not saying they apologized, but they gave us something.
that wasn't in my experience.
Okay. Did anyone experience that before?
Yeah, I would get a whooping sometime from my mom,
Uh,
but my father would give me a treat or something later.
okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I've
so
experienced that too.
okay, so here we go. So now, painful experience. The treat is like a way of easing that pain, right?
Yes.
So why does he fear now that he's a grown man? Because he was taught to eat the wrong food when he was a child. Why does a person eat when they're upset now? Because they were taught to eat when they're upset when they were a child. Can we see the relationship?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We're carrying on the same behavior as adults because that's what happened to us as children. I'm not saying that's for everyone across the board. But what I'm saying is, on some levels, painful experiences and anxiety and emotion are connected to food. So now, as adults, when we experience painful emotions, we eat.
I do anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes it's a sympathy engram.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Okay. So does that kind of give some level of understanding on that, Sister Anya?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not really. No, sir.
Okay.
But that's okay. It'll something will be said that I think will
Okay.
clear it up for me. So,
All right.
mhm.
All right. Sister Peggy.
Okay, when I came into the nation, I'd been eating at least 2 meals a day because I never did eat breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't consider it a sin then, and I don't consider it a sin now to eat more than 1 meal a day. The sin is if you eat pork, right?
Oh, I'm not saying that eating those meals is a sin. That's not what I'm saying.
No. I'm just saying that for some, okay, then allow me to say this. Then for some of us, it is considered a sin. And that may be why some people, it's kind of hard for some people because it's not a sin. It wasn't a sin then, and the eating of it's still not a sin now. You just missed the mark. And even though missing the mark does mean sin, that Greek word that they use for missing the mark, but it's not a sin. It's not a divinely prohibited thing. The divinely prohibited is the pork, right?
Right, but
So, but if you're still doing it, you're sneaking 3 meals a day, then you think it's a sin. But in my idea, I never thought it was a sin. I never thought at eating, once I came in the nation, and there are people that do think eating more than 1 meal a day is a sin. And so it's going to be difficult for some people to get over that. But I never think of it as a sin.
no. Let me clear this up. I'm not saying that that's a sin.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. It's just
Okay.
something that came up into my mind
Hmm.
why so many people have a difficulty with 3 meals a day because they think it has become a sin because they've become a Muslim. And Master Farad Muhammad wants us to eat 1 meal a day, but it's not a sin. I've never seen it as a sin. The only thing that I've seen as something close would be the divinely prohibited pork.
Right. Right.
So if you thinking that even though you're missing the mark, it's it's not a sin. You just missed the mark and you have to do something more to get, you have to examine yourself to get over that idea of the meal a day, of the 3 meals a day being something other than
Okay.
what it really is.
What what I'm saying is that
I'm
if
not saying that you said it.
no, I
I'm
don't
just
understand. I just want to clear it up. If
came up
someone, if
in
there's
my
other, if
mind.
anyone else that thinks that, I want to clear that because all I'm saying is if we're having troubles with our diet,
Yeah.
it might be rooted in something emotional from
I
our
heard
past.
Sister Anya say the sin. And that's what made me
Okay.
think of it because in my coaching people, some people do think it's a sin.
Hmm.
And that's maybe why they can't get get around it.
May I
But
chime in,
he
Brother
never said it
Lukman?
was a sin.
May I chime in?
Yeah, Mr. Angela.
Yes, yes, sir. Um, the minister made how to eat to live 1 meal a day law
Hmm.
in the Nation of Islam. And he said this is not a type of law that somebody's going to be outside looking to see how many meals you eat. He said your life, your health will be the telltale sign. So if we look at, I guess when we define sin and we define evil, do we all agree that eating 3 meals a day is an evil against our body? Do we
Yes.
agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yes,
it can't
ma'am.
be looked at as a sin, but to go into Sister Anya's, I think her comparison is when you were saying that we are hurting over things that we don't even know about, we don't remember.
Hmm.
That's where I'm following her from, and she used
Yes,
not know
ma'am. You
not
you you hit it on the head. Yes, ma'am.
know so not knowing that we should not eat 3 meals a day is not a painful memory or an emotional one. So we couldn't even put that in an engramic state.
Hmm.
That's a choice. And we know as auditors, we want to know what has been done to you by other people, not what has been self-inflicted. So
Hmm.
that's the difference. What's self-inflicted, that's really between you and Allah.
Hmm.
What has been done to us in the result of a combination of words, we have to always remember this is about words and what those words are representing in our life, and how far down the time track does these locks and links and chains till we get to basic goals. So it can go all the way to prenatal. Somebody could have been talking to our mother, I can't move this, and she and hit her stomach, and I can't becomes something that we live out. So that's something we don't remember,
Hmm.
but it affects us today.
Hmm.
I hope that helped you, Sister Anya.
It did. That makes it a lot clearer. So yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's why we have more than one scientist. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Come on, computer. Okay. Okay, we dealt with that. Okay. So I'm going to go through this real quick. So this is from the book of Romans, chapter 7. I'm gonna read through it, and I know for me, when I read through it the first time, it was very confusing. But I'm gonna break it. With a lot's help, break it down so that we can make some sense of it. But in Romans chapter 7, 14 through 19, it says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that I do not. For what I hate, that do I. If then I do that which I would not," it already sounds confusing. "If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present in me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do." I mean, it's confused. It's crazy.
It's understood. I understand it.
Okay, so I'm
Praise
gonna
be to
break it
Allah.
down. I'm gonna break it down though. Then there's another verse. It says, "But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members." So now let's break it down real quick. "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that I do not, but what I hate, that do I." So then, if then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. That's like a justification. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Making excuses for our behavior. If then I do that which I would not, meaning I'm doing the things that I wouldn't necessarily do. What am I doing? I'm consenting unto the law that it is good, meaning the carnal law. I'm making it fair seeming. I'm justifying my actions. Now then it's no more the I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. In the language of the text, that could be called dramatizing, because it's not really me that's doing it. I'm dramatizing the behavior of someone else. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we manifest in our behavior, if we go to the root, it represents what has been done to us or what we have witnessed happen to others. So we are creating what was done or said to us in present time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. "For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present in me." So to will things, I have that. That's in us. But how to perform that which is good, I find not. How many of us have had great ideas and great things we want to do, but we keep putting our own foot in our own way?
Yes.
Okay. We know what we want to do, but then, oh, I'm gonna give you a real good equation right here. This is something L. Ron Hubbard said in the Western Congress. Do you know what boredom is?
That will work out.
But we've all experienced boredom, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Boredom is the result of having a goal and then having an insurmountable obstacle in the way.
Mm.
And that insurmountable, that's the word he uses, obstacle gets in the way. So we stop going towards the goal which we had desired to do. So we sit and do nothing.
Yes.
And that sitting and doing nothing is called boredom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And when we're bored, what do? We're on our cell phones. We're watching TV. We sit still and do nothing, correct?
Yes.
So anytime we're bored, and that's 2.5, isn't it?
Yes.
When we're bored, if we ever say, "Oh man, I'm just so bored," what has just happened? We had a goal, something blocked it, and it cut our flow and we stopped. Just something to think about. Let that roll around in your brain for a minute.
Right.
For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. So the things I'm supposed to do, I'm not doing those things. But the evil things that I would not do, that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's called dramatization. That's called aberration. That's called a held down seven. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. What I know I should be doing, I find reasons not to do it.
Woo!
Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, it's too cold outside. We come up with all these reasons why. And as soon as we
Right.
make reasons why we can't, now we are down at tone 0.5. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. The things I know I shouldn't be doing, those are the things I wrestle with. Do you want to find four devils? Look at the restrictive law, look at the guiding rules of conduct, and circle the ones that you're wrestling with. There's the devils right there. Then it says, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. So there's a law in the mind and there's a law in the body, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And you know what it's called in Dianetics when it says bringing me into captivity? You know what that's called in the text?
What is it called?
It's called interbulation.
Mm.
That's called analytical attenuation. We are being held captive by our body now.
Look at that.
In the book of James, it says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Mm-hmm. Struggle for balance.
Struggle for balance. So there are laws of the mind, there's laws of the body, and these laws are at odds with one another. We decide we're going to do something. The body says, "Okay, let's see if that works out for you." Or you want to fast for 3 days? Okay. How does the image of Popeye's chicken look in your mind right now? How does that look? How does that big slice of pizza look right now in your brain? You think the reactive mind loves to give us pictures. Okay. So in Dianetics, what we're doing is this involves the analytical mind, the reactive mind, and what's called the somatic mind. But the somatic mind is also called the genetic entity. Does everyone follow that?
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions about that? If you look at it, and it just came to my mind, in the Kemetic spirituality, it is the war between Heru and Set, which is the analytical mind and reactive mind. So in other words, the analytical mind is the part of the mind that we use to solve problems, correct?
Yeah.
The reactive mind represents all those things that we have collected during our lifespan with regards to engrams, circuits, and all those things, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The genetic entity represents the things that were passed down to us from our ancestors. When you look at, they also call it now in modern time, they call it transgenerational trauma. If you want to hear some real good dialogue about that, pull up videos by Dr.
LeGrew.
LeGrew. And she talks about something called post-traumatic slave disorder. It's trauma that was passed down to us generational. We're still suffering from slavery in modern time.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as original people, this is one of the images that we use to illustrate this concept in ancient Kemet. So here you have an individual in the middle. You have Heru on the right, and you have Set on the left, showing two sides of the mind. And it has to be balanced. So when it's balanced, that's our mind is mastered. And when a pharaoh at that time period had got to achieve that level of mastery, you would see the headdress would be the headdress. You have the serpent and the vulture, Nekbet and Wajid, and then It was indicative of the union between Upper and Lower Egypt, and what they had a unified crown. There was two crowns combined together. But what that represented was an individual. It was called the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, but it signified an individual that had gained mastery over themselves. They were in control of their body, and their body was not controlling them. So Heru could represent the analytical mind, and Set could represent the reactive mind. If you ever get a chance to read the Metu Netter by Ra Amen Nefer Amen,
Can you put that in the chat?
I put that in the chat before we finish up. Yes, ma'am. Set represents the sensual and emotional nature. That's the reactive mind. That's the genetic entity. Okay. So when you're remembering of 14 parts of Osar, that could parallel the process of auditing. If you were to read about how the process took place, it's the same process taking place in auditing. You're remembering the pre-clear. You're finding those points in the past and bringing them to present time. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about the shell real quick. So the word shell is baida, which means to be born or to make white, like a garment. So if the body is a garment, then making it white would be equivalent to being clean or made clear. Our garments are washed in the blood of the Lamb, right?
Yes.
Okay. It means to make someone blameless, to exculpate, or to vindicate. This is what Dianetic processing does. It's to make us blameless because we realize the things that I'm doing, I'm not at the root of it. It doesn't belong to me. It was something else that was done to me. I'm not to be blamed for it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
To exculpate means to clear. Key word, to clear from alleged blame, fault, or guilt. And vindicate means to be free from blame or allegations or to set. That, everyone okay? Is that a hit? Or did someone catch the ghost just then? What was that?
I don't know. It was somebody
Okay. Okay. So quick summary. Packing our way out of the egg, the shell, could be an allegorical representation of the individual that returns to the events of the past that contain moments of emotional and physical pain. And then by confronting these confronting these events, the emotional pain is removed. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There was something that popped up while I was studying this, and I thought it was significant that we touch on this real quick. You know how in the Holy Quran it talks about on that day some faces will turn white and some faces will turn black.
Yes, sir.
And then we actually have individuals that think they actually take that on face value. They think actually some faces are going to turn white and some faces are going to turn black, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we clear these terms, okay, it's Holy Quran Surah 3, Ayat 106 and 107, says on the day when some faces turn white and some faces turn black, then as for those whose faces are black, did you disbelieve after your belief? So taste the chastisement because you disbelieved. And as to those whose faces are white, they shall be in Allah's mercy. Therein they shall abide. Well, we know that we're not to take this literally, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because if we take it literally, it means all black people are going to be chastised and all white people are going to be in Allah's mercy.
That's what they want us to believe.
Yeah, okay. So let's clear the terms. Allah says there's rules of interpretation. There's decisive and allegorical. So you can say whatever you want allegorically, but you have to prove it by producing that which is decisive, correct? So we're going to clear these terms real quick, and then we're going to try to land this plane. So the word face in Arabic is wajh. It means to turn one's face, but it also means personality, intention, goals, guiding principles, or character. Okay. So when we say, surely I'm being turned to thee, O Allah, striving to be upright. In Arabic, turning myself to thee, in Arabic, you're actually saying, I'm turning my face to your face, meaning I'm turning my intention, my personality, my goals, and my character to mirror your personality, intention, goals, and character. That's the literal translation of it. But it also means to come to someone's mind or their continence. And continence means mental composure. It's also an indication of mood, emotion, or character. So if Waj means face, and Waj means character, personality, guiding principles, goals, and intentions, and white means to clear, to free from guilt, to vindicate, or to exculpate, then faces turning or becoming white could mean individuals whose guilt has been removed. They are now blameless. They no longer carry guilt. They no longer feel shame, and they no longer feel regret. Does that make sense?
Oh.
So faces turning white is equivalent to a person going clear. It's the removal of the reactive mind. It's equivalent to what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says on page 81 and page 82 of Our Savior Has Arrived. It's the removal of the brown germ, in other words. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if we look at black faces, you know, the word black is sawad. It means to expose someone, to make a fool of someone, to bring into disrepute, to discredit, to be disagreeable, to dishonor. But it also means melancholy, gloom, and sadness. So black faces could mean someone's character, mood, or guiding principles or intentions are disagreeable, dishonored. They are sad, gloomy, and in a state of apathy. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And this is why when Allah says, if we obey, the faces will turn white. If we disobey, faces turn black, but not literally. It's the same as someone going clear versus someone becoming severely aberrated. Does everyone follow that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this would be like the last part, because I know we can't get through all this, so we'll deal with this. I think this part is a short one. So the struggle to come forward. So the word struggle is jihada or jihad, but the root word is jihada. It means to endeavor, to strive, or to fight. But the word jihada also means to wage a holy war against the infidels.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for us, guess where the infidels are, and guess what infidels could be called in Dianetics?
Engram.
More specific.
These are circus.
We could say engram, we could say circuits, but we could also say valences.
Mm.
Okay, those are the internal infidels that we have to go to war against for our internal jihad.
Mm.
Okay, so if you ever read the book, the Bhagavad Gita, the whole book Bhagavad Gita is based on that. It's a book of metaphor. Jihad means to make an effort. It means all in one's power. I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm gonna make every conceivable effort to accomplish. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That means for the jihad means everything I can do to accomplish it, I'm gonna do it. So jihada is in our lessons. What will be your reward in regards to the destruction of the devil? It says peace and happiness. I will give all I have and all within my power to see this day for which I have waited 379 years. What question is that in our Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2? That's question number what?
Oh.
It's right there on the screen. It's question number 40, right?
Mm.
Peace and happiness, right?
Right.
Could question number 40 be equivalent to tone 40?
Come on.
Or is that a coincidence?
No such thing.
No such thing as coincidence. Tone 40, question 40. Is question number 40 speaking of an internal jihad? Yes, we could look at it like that. If we win the war, what do we get? Peace and happiness.
You said mine, Lord.
Because if you take out the word devil and put in the word engram, what happens? What will be your reward in regards to the destruction of the engram? Peace and happiness. Tone 40, question 40. Everyone flow with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So struggle and then to come forward, and this is where we're going to end it. So struggle is jihada. To come forward, the root word is nafara. Now watch what nafara means. Nafara means to accelerate or to advance. To raise to a higher rank. To bring forward in time. There's the key right there. What does it mean to bring forward in time in auditing?
In the present time.
Come the present time. Come the present time. To accelerate the process of a progressive step. That would be the same as a gradient, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the struggle to come forward in Arabic, you're talking about jihada and nafara. You're talking about acceleration or raising to a higher rank or bringing forward in time in progressive steps. See, the thing about the Arabic is you can have one word that represents the whole process. It's the in the one Arabic word, you have the whole cycle of action. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's economy of language. Instead of saying all these things, you can say one word, and in the one word is a whole cycle of action. And then we'll end it right here on this note. This verse came because I wanted to find out what forward was in Arabic, and I came to Surah 9, verse 41. It says, go forth, light and heavy, and strive hard in Allah's way with your wealth and your lives. This is better for you if you know. Do y'all see anything in there with auditing? Now remember, go forth. We're talking about advancement coming into present time. Do you see anything else in this ayat that has anything to do with auditing?
Oh, for it. I'll
say what?
The light and heavy part.
What about it?
Usually when people have a release, they walk away feeling lighter.
Okay.
And the heaviness of the engram is lifted.
Okay, that's good. We can use that because that's part of what I'm gonna, what we're gonna share right here. But if you look at go forth, that's coming to present time or advancing up the tone scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go forth, light and heavy. So you indicated the key words. So go forth instructs us what to do. Light and heavy is telling us how to do it.
Mm.
So when you look at the word light, the Arabic word is khafa, which means to decrease in intensity, to become lighter, to reduce. There's the Dianetic term, to reduce. It means to relieve someone of something that is difficult or oppressive, to relieve someone of a burden. And then heavy means to load or burden, to be hard to bear, to have weight, to weigh heavily, or to be in a bad mood, or to be disagreeable. Does everyone follow that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go forth is to advance, to come to present time. How do you do it? Light and heavy. Well, in the tech, you have what? You have light and heavy processing.
Mm-hmm.
Light processing is straight wire, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It's called light processing. So Dianetic processing may be divided into two classes. The first is light processing. This includes analytical recall of conscious moments. It is intended to raise tone and increase perception and memory. It often resolves chronic somatics or psychosomatic ills. The second is deep processing. This addresses basic cause and locates and reduces moments of physical pain and sorrow. It is done without drugs or hypnosis by an auditor, one who listens and computes. So when a person is severely aberrated, you can't apply deep processing. You have to do light processing first to gain back some attention units and get some movement on the tone scale, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So deep processing is used for heavy engrams. I just thought it was interesting that ayat, go forth, light and heavy. And I saw that and immediately my mind went to light and heavy processing. So summary, and this is where we'll end it. Go forth, light and heavy could mean advance, come the present time, raise to a high level, to progress by steps or gradients using what is light or light processing and heavy or deep processing. So the struggle to come forward could be the equivalent to the jihad to advance forward in time or to rise on the tone scale. A processing session could be considered a mental or an emotional jihad. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we made it to the end.
Mm.
So to summarize it real quick, that was all based on just one paragraph of the minister's words from study guide number 4. So we just spoke 2 hours basically off of one paragraph of the minister's words. There's more wisdom contained in the minister's words. There's more harmonics and fundamentals and overtones. Does everyone follow that?
Yes, sir.
And so that means we already have the text, but we got to be able to get through the allegories and the metaphors and really chew on the minister's words, and we'll get more and more information. Who had their hand up just now? Was that you, Sister Sharon?
Yeah, I was thinking the go forth light and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough about Dianetics to speak to the Dianetics of it, but it also feels like it's encouraging us to 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 go the whole distance, whether it's easy or it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go light and heavy. Like that encompasses everything. It, either extremes, you know what I mean? Light or heavy or everything in between, but do you know what I mean? That's what it made me think of. Go forth light and heavy. Like just get on with it. Like persevere.
Mm-hmm.
No matter if it's easy or hard.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult or, you know.
Got to. Minister Farrakhan talks about the difficulty factor. If it was easy, all of us would be doing it. But you're absolutely right, Sister Sharon. Anyone else? Sister Denise, assalamu alaikum. You're on mute if you try to speak. I got to try to see if I can kill some time before Sister Inyame gets back, because there's something she wanted to touch on real quick. She's looking to organize a sisters only Zoom.
Oh, I would love that.
You about to say something, Sister Denise?
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Assalamualaikum. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing fine by Allah's grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I was listening to you. Was that Sister Angela or Sister talking about go forth? And I was thinking about Minister Ishmael's message today after he went through Job and all of that. You know, bringing his subject to present time.
Mm-hmm.
How we and it puts things in perspective when you bring things to present time on what you have saw, what you have seen to what you're seeing now. And it's just the same thing that we have to keep going. He was saying, like he was, you tell people no matter if they made fun of you like they did Noah, but how he brought that aspect of Noah's life to present time, how people laugh at you because you telling them it's going to rain, there ain't no rain in the sky. You know, so I was listening to you all, how you were saying that sometimes this is the journey people don't want to take. You know, they want it right now. And it you know, you will get right now, but you won't get it right now.
Right.
You know, you will get it as you strive. And how, what is that scripture that say they choose the road less leave to travel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's wide, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's narrow, I don't want it. You know, but if it's straight, I don't know if I could do that straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we have to keep going because we're trying to get birth of God here. I'm talking about within ourselves.
Right, right.
You know, so we don't know how long that's gonna take for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but as we continue to move toward the goal, and then it's like, oh, okay, I see. That's what I was thinking about.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
As far as believers, and Minister Ishmael said, is just go on, because you know they did that to our brother Noah and Moses. Took too long, you know, because they want instant. This is an instant world, brother Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I want everything right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, beloved.
No, thank you.
What are you doing?
Sister Enyame, while we have you, you have the floor to speak about what it is that you have or that you will be planning in the near future. The floor is yours. And then Sister Ani, I'll get you afterwards. I won't forget. Go ahead, Sister Nyame. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Sister Nyame? I see you, Sister Nyame, but I don't hear you. Still can't hear you. We have some technical difficulties. Still can't hear you.
Assalamu alaikum.
There we go.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
Can't hear you.
I'm not speaking.
Okay, I can't see.
Okay, this has to be brief because I got another call.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
On hold right now.
Uh-huh.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, I briefly would like to offer the opportunity for sisters to get together. I do a few things, but womb healing is one of them. And if any of the sisters are interested in us taking time out to have a sisters only gathering, you know, however often we would like to have it, then please contact me. I left my email in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't hear you.
No, I was asking a question. How do you download all the chat information? I forget how to do it.
I'll tell you what, I'll resend for those that can't do it. I'll just resend Sister Inyame's email. That way you'll get it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll make sure everyone gets the email.
Okay. So I look forward, if any of you sisters are interested, I will respond as soon as I get some communication from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Inyame.
Thank you all. Okay, assalamu alaikum.
All right, Sister Anya, you get the last word.
My comment was about the light and light processing and the, is it light?
Heavy processing.
Mm-hmm. I feel anyway that the program that we have with the Supreme Wisdom meets Supreme Technology, and what we had with when Brother Batin was still with us, the Supreme Technology Workshop. That is could be considered like processing, where we're able to examine how the tech works. And as we went through these weekly sessions, we in the past we talked more about specific issues that we were dealing with, and we were able to approach it once we got to a level of comfortability in talking about it. We began to express and talk more openly about it, not going all the way deep into all of the details, but more just in a more generalized setting or context. And sometimes there was tears, and we witnessed people starting off the session with a low tone, and by the end of the session their tone level was raised.
Right.
So that was some type of processing that took place, and that could be akin to light processing, or what's the other term? The
deep or heavy.
I forget the term.
Talking about straight wire?
Straight wire, yes, straight wire. And that could also be likened to the pecking away, because we're gently pecking away at it, so that is preparing us to accept and be ready for the deep processing that may still need to be done. Straight wire does some of it, but so these sessions I see, over the years have been helping the majority of us to do that, come to terms with things, and be more willing to get on course and do the deeper work that's needed.
Yes, ma'am.
All praise is due to Allah.
All praise is due to Allah. Before we end, does anyone have anything else they'd like to add before we close it out?
I'd like to say thank you for tonight. It was really good.
All praise is due to Allah. Thank you, Sister Sharon. Is Brother Wahid with us tonight?
No, Brother Wahid is out, and Brother Wahid is, I guess he's having a good time.
I see. Would you have two phones, Sister Anya?
Yes, well, my laptop and my phone. Yes.
Okay. I thought maybe he was on the other one. Okay, well.
Sometimes he is, but not today.
Okay, well, just let him know we asked about him. Hope he's enjoying himself.
I'm sure he is. Yes, sir.
All right, family. Brother Roderick, any closing words? If you're still with us.
All right. Yes, I'm still here. Assalamu alaikum to the group.
Salam.
And thank you for the insight. I mean, this is exactly what I know my mind, my heart, my spirit needs. This level of psychoanalysts and technology. So I mean, it's beautiful. There's a lot of different things that was said today that resonated well. So I thank you all for this.
All praise is due to Allah.
Are you going to post this one, Brother Luke?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Of course. Yeah, this one's going up. I'm gonna try to get this one up tonight.
Yes, sir.
When we finish, it has to fully upload to the computer. It has to do its thing. But God willing, I'm gonna make it a point to get this. No, I'm trying. That's imperfect tense. I'm gonna this will be uploaded, God willing, but my intention is to have it uploaded. That's my postulate. So going once, going twice. Sister Machado, you okay over there? Everything going well? Did this help at all with anything?
Yes, sir. This was a great podcast. So I thank Sister Angela for inviting me on. I learned a lot
Praise,
about Dianetics and psychology in general. So yes, sir. Thank you.
praise due to Allah. Thank you. Sister Jeanette, how are you after our Zoom meeting?
Oh, praise be to Allah. I'm fine, sir.
Okay,
And I learned a lot. And I am going to try to get back into, no, I'm going to get back into Dianetics. And like you said, to start reading it from the beginning. Yeah, a lot of what you were saying, I could like, piece it together because of
mhm,
what I did read.
mhm.
But thank you so much for being so patient and taking it like, one step at a time with us. Thank you.
Praise is due to Allah. Thank you, Sister Jeanette. Sister Sharon.
Is that me, Brother Luke?
Yes. Oh, right. There's more than one. Yes, ma'am. Sister Sharon 4X.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. It's always a blessing to, build with the gods. We
Mhm.
all, each one teach one. And very enlightening. So praise be to Allah.
All right. Thank you, Sister
Yes, sir.
Sharon.
Hmm.
Let's go to the quiet one, Sister Deborah. Any final words, Sister Deborah?
No, sir. I'm just happy to be here and got some good notes.
Praise is due to Allah. Now, if anyone wants the PowerPoint, just put your name in the chat, put PowerPoint, and I'll send you the PowerPoint. That way you have all the notes.
Allahu Akbar.
Sister Mary Jesus, everything all right over there?
Yes, sir. Everything's good.
Praise to Allah. And I think the last, let's see, Sister Jordan. We flowing over there with you, Sister Jordan?
I am very well over here, thank you, brother.
Praise
But
be to
I don't
Allah.
have any final comments or questions.
Okay. We're just glad to have you. And the last two will be Sister Sophie.
Yes, sir.
Any final
Yes, sir.
words?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. When I go with these notes, I better understand it and put it into place. But my reaction always comes later. Thank you.
Delayed reaction. That's all right.
Mhm.
And finally, Sister Charlotte.
Yes, sir. Walaikum salam. Always very educational for me. I'm I'm glad to get what I'm getting while I'm in the process.
Praise
So when I
to Allah.
get there, inshallah, things will be much clearer.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No, thank you. As the believers are doing their studies through the Dianetics or Science of Survival or any of the tech, if you hit a bump in the road or you hit a place where you get stuck, you can send me an email, ask me a question. I'll do the best I can to respond to get you past that point and get you back flowing again on course. But that's the main thing. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. It might seem insignificant now, but in the very near future, uh, the skills that we're learning are going to be very, very important for ourselves, our family, and other believers. It's going to be like medicine, if that makes any sense. All right. So with that, I'm going to dismiss myself as I came before you in the nation's breeding words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
And we
Thank you
will,
so much.
yes, ma'am. And we will go ahead and close out in prayer. Attention prayer. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, thine aid do we seek. Please, Allah, guide us on the straight path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path upon whom thy wrath is brought down. nor of those who go astray if they have heard thy teaching. Amen.
Amen.
I mean,
Amen.
Assalamualaikum
Ameen.
family.
Alaikum salam.
Walaikum salam. Happy
Alaikum
Savings Day.
family.
David's
Happy
Day.
Savings
Happy
Day.
Savings Day.